I will tell you, the theme of this afternoon is invitation to joy, and my heart right now is bursting with joy. Seeing so many familiar faces and people who have dedicated so much to Brushwood Center at Ryerson Woods. We are ever indebted to every single one of you, and I'm especially excited about the program today because it involves two very, very dear friends of Brushwood and just unique, inspirational individuals. Just a moment with regard to Brushwood. You know, our mission really is dedicated to promoting and inviting individuals of all walks of life. No discrimination with regard to age or any other value. And we recognize that nature is really a great healer. And it gives each and every one of us an opportunity to experience really an antidote to stress that we often face as human beings daily in our lives. And the beauty and mystery of accessing the woods that you see outside this magnificent house, which is filled with so much history and so much sacred energy, is really remarkable. So thank you. We hope you enjoyed the program, and we appreciate all your support. And now I'm going to hand it over to Catherine Game, a true leader and really a cornerstone of Brushwood's success.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you all for coming today. Wow, if this packed room isn't a sign of spring, I don't know what is. I think we're all eager to hear about the birds that are now surrounding us. You know, they're boisterous outside, so I think they're pretty jazzed about today as well. Thank you, Gail. Gail's the chair of our board of directors, and just so important to this organization, as are so many of you. And it's great to see so many wonderful faces here. This event, our Dear Earth Talk series, started last year following the presentation of our Smith Symposium Award to Robert Redford and Sibylla Shagars Redford. And Sibylla is this incredible environmental artist who pairs art and science. And she developed a performance as a love letter to the earth. And so in the spirit of that, we've continued this talk series combining science and the art. And what's really cool about the individuals today, Dr. Lewis and Dr. Hector Wasgado Flores, are that they both have a creative side, but they also have a science side. So we get to see these beautiful pieces come together. And with that, I will introduce Michael and encourage you, if you have not yet, to explore his work throughout the gallery. It's stunning. The Owl Gallery, especially, will blow your mind. And also, we invite you to join Brushwood Center's events throughout the rest of the spring. We have many of them, including a cabaret, for those of you who are musically inclined, on Friday, April 26th, an Earth Day Cabaret. And then our Smith Nature Symposium this year is on June 1st, and honoring Amory Levins and Judy Hill Levins, who are both extraordinary environmental leaders. So we hope you will join us for both of those. And without further ado, please let me welcome Dr. Michael Lewis, esteemed photographer, orthopedic surgeon, how often do you hear that combination, and blessing us today with this presentation.
Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Catherine. I'm the starter act for the main event, Hector. So we're very excited to hear what Hector has to say. So photography expresses the joy that I feel having been able to travel to all 7 continents. Hence the title of this show in my new book, Invitation to Joy. I hope that when you view these photographs, you'll experience some of the same delight and wonder that I felt. To accompany the images, I attempted to find quotations that were either inspiring, humorous, or at least thought-provoking. And it was as much fun putting the quotations with the pictures as it was taking the pictures. And I don't mind shamelessly suggesting that you buy multiple copies of the book to share with your family and friends. First, because people of all ages love the book, and second, the entire proceeds go to the Himalayan Cataract Project, and even a percentage to Brushwood. The goal of the Himalayan Cataract Project is to cure preventable blindness worldwide. For approximately $40 an eye, people who've been blind for years, the very next day can see perfectly. My wife Valerie and I were in Ghana, where a friend of ours did 100 cataract surgeries a day, and the next day people could see perfectly. This group has done 800,000 cataract surgeries, and they teach the local physicians to carry on this work. So talk about a win-win. Give a gift to someone you love, help Brushwood, and help eliminate preventable blindness. And as a bonus, I've decided to donate the profits from the sale of the photographs to the same Himalayan Cataract Project. Several of my professional photographer friends are upset with me for pricing the photographs at significantly below market value, but I did it in the hopes of raising more money for charity. I've received appreciative letters and emails from people who've read the book, but my favorite letter of acknowledgement of the book was from Groucho Marx to S.J. Perelman. He said, "From the moment I picked up your book to the moment I put it down, I was convulsed with laughter. Someday I intend reading it." Now I wanted to show you a few photographs, primarily of birds, but some animals and landscapes, to reveal some awe-inspiring moments and places. And this is one of my favorite photographs. You can see it's on my shirt. It was taken in Zambia, and to me it illustrates the theme of interconnectedness. Here we see two unrelated species coming together in harmony. In many of my photographs, I strive for intimacy and a feeling of serenity and a meditative quality. When I arrived on the scene, this cattle egret was walking toward the zebra. When it stopped an inch in front of the zebra's nose, my heart almost leaped out of my chest, because I knew that it could be an exciting image. But this was in the olden days of slide film, so I had to wait 2 weeks to find out if it was underexposed or overexposed or out of focus. Bald eagles are only found in North America. The great majority are in Alaska, where we saw this husband and wife. Since they mate for life, they also epitomize the theme of connectedness. Don't they look like an old married couple? The quotation, "Every place in the world is magical if you're there at the right time," is for me illustrated by the next few photographs. Although it's true that chance favors the prepared mind, sometimes one is just incredibly lucky. When I lifted the camera to take a picture of this magnificent sunrise, a giraffe was generous enough to suddenly appear on the horizon, as you can see here. And if I'd spent hours trying to place him, I couldn't have placed him better. Scarlet ibises roost in a mangrove swamp on the island of Trinidad. Seeing hundreds of these magnificent creatures flying home at sunset is one of life's peak experiences. I was photographing this ashy-faced owl at a falconry center in Britain. Inexplicably, just for an instant, it hovered before landing, allowing me to share this magical moment. I was on a bus on Achill Island, located in the far west of Ireland, when this double rainbow appeared. I prevailed on the bus driver to stop the bus, and not wanting to have the road in the photograph, I started running across fields, leaping over hedges and bushes to capture this scene. As Ansel Adams asserted, it's joyful to be in places when God is ready for someone to click the shutter. And I didn't know this till someone pointed it out to me, but double rainbows are reversed, so the outer colors of the inner rainbow are the inner colors of the outer rainbow. I was 3 feet from this spitting cobra, whose bite is often fatal, and it can spit in one's eye with accuracy up to 10 feet, causing temporary blindness. Our guide, who'd been a snake handler, had captured this snake near our camp in Namibia and was releasing it in the wild. He felt that the snake had probably exhausted its venom temporarily during the capture, and I'm very glad that he was right. This photograph, which is here today, was taken from a rocking boat near Bass Rock. So I'm literally going like this, trying to capture this gannet. And this Bass Rock, which is an outcropping 2 miles off the coast of Scotland in the Firth of Forth, is home to 150,000 gannets. And this very elegant bird climbs to 100 feet and dives at 60 miles an hour, hitting the water at 60 miles an hour to catch fish. This photograph also is here. South Georgia Island is one of the most isolated places on Earth. Its nearest neighbor is Antarctica, which is 2,500 miles away. When I took this photograph, it was on a beach shared with 100,000 pairs of these king penguins. The quote that goes with this picture, which I think is probably appropriate, is "Beauty is in the eye of the beholder." These are wild turkeys found on Madagascar. To find isolated islands such as the Galapagos, South Georgia Island, and Madagascar, with their unique flora and fauna, to be some of the most captivating places on Earth. These Magellanic penguins, which showed no fear, walked right up to us. They're found on the Falkland Islands. These islands are located near the southern tip of Argentina, but are part of the British Commonwealth. It seemed incongruous to be so near to South America and to find Victorian-style architecture, red phone booths, and streets filled with Land Rovers. I love the quotation with this. "Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How about cooking something up with me?" Almost all of my photographs were taken spontaneously. This photograph, taken in Namibia, was an exception, a rare exception. This is one of the highest sand dunes in the world, and it required advanced planning, which included waking up at 3 in the morning, crossing a freezing cold, pitch-black desert, climbing a steep dune to be at daybreak, where this band of light lasted for about 3 minutes. Just 2 more. This was another rare example where advanced planning with special equipment was necessary. A hummingbird's wings beat at 60 to 80 times a second. My camera has a maximum shutter speed of 1/8,000th of a second. Remarkably, that's not nearly fast enough to stop the action. Therefore, to prepare to photograph this white-necked Jacobin hummingbird, and this photograph is here, I bought a special flash that stops the action at 1/32,000th of a second. To keep this bird in focus was a challenge. As I said at the onset, my fondest hope is that some of these photographs will resonate with you, so that the next time you're walking in Ryerson Woods, or wherever you next venture into nature, you'll feel more deeply that sense within you of how astonishing is our world, and that your spirits will be lifted. So once again, I hope you will accept this Snowy Owl's invitation and my invitation to joy. Thank you.
Yeah, does anyone have questions for Dr. Lewis?
What kind of camera would you use?
It's a Nikon D500. I just wanted to say concerning questions, I once heard a talk by Mitch Albom, who wrote Tuesdays with Maury, and he talked about the first time he gave a speech, and it was at a rehab center in Miami, and it was a breakfast meeting. And he gave a talk, and afterwards he said, "Any questions?" And first there were no answers. Finally a hand went up, and he was so happy that the ice was broken and someone asked a question. And the man said, "If you don't want that Danish on your plate, I'll be happy." Any other questions? Yeah.
How many countries have you visited?
Haven't counted. I have been to all 7 continents, and probably around 75 or 80.
Thank you very much. Those are beautiful photos. Where's your next trip?
I have a 102-year-old mother who lives in Houston, lives by herself, more energy than any of us in this room, and grandchildren on Maui. So that's a lot of our traveling. It just so happens that next week we're meeting our grandchildren at Big Sky in Montana. Yes.
You have one lens when you go out, or do you change lenses? And what is your basic lens that you use for birds?
Well, this is over a long period of time, and when I first started with, for example, that zebra and egret, there were set lenses at the time, and that was a 500mm lens, which is gigantic and really heavy. Fortunately, I have a wife with a really strong back, so that's helpful. But now the zoom lenses are so good that it would be different zoom lenses. Dr. Sager?
I apologize in advance for the question, but what you show in these photographs and other photographs that you've done is a spectacular biodiversity that is breathtaking. I was wondering if at any time if you look into what the adaptive advantage is for any of these incredible birds of their coloration or their eyes or their wing spread or something like that, in terms of how they evolved in this incredible diversity.
Well, there's a lot of work done, and I've done a lot of reading on that subject. One piece of that is how intelligent some birds are. For example, and I mentioned this in the introduction of the book, there are crows who drop walnuts on the pavement for cars to run over them. And then when the red light comes, they go and pick up the fleshy part. There's a YouTube video of a crow that snowboards down a roof on a plate and picks the plate up with its beak, goes back to the top. It's like we do. So a lot of birds are much more intelligent than we understood. But
and creative too.
And creative. But with every bird, there is a niche that they fill. I was just saying to somebody that with the hummingbirds, for example, the hummingbirds, that luminescence, you have to be right in front, because if you're 2 degrees off, you don't see the luminescence. So and hummingbirds, if we're talking about adaptation, have no predators. Because they're so fast and so small. So that's one adaptation. I mean, I could go on with every single bird. Just one more example. The osprey, which is the lower bird on this wall, you see it has a white chest. It's strictly a fish eater. So it's white because the fish can't see it coming down because of the white chest. It also, when it captures the fish, it'll capture it in both talons, and aerodynamically will routinely turn the fish around, because it takes the fish back to its nest, turn the fish around so the fish is this way, so it will fly more aerodynamically. And I could go on with every single one.
Thank you.
Yes?
What's your favorite bird at Ryerson Woods?
Ooh.
Valerie.
Several of them are in this room. There are really too many to name. I love the woodpeckers, I love the water birds. There's so many. Yes?
Have any of the birds that you photographed become extinct that you're aware of?
I don't know if any. I don't think any of the birds in the book are extinct. It just so happens, since as I mentioned, we have grandchildren on Maui. Hawaii is the worst place on Earth for extinction, and there are many reasons for that. A lot of it is loss of habitat. But one phenomena that you wouldn't have thought about is, since it's getting warmer, mosquitoes can go to a higher altitude and infect the birds, and there are serious avian diseases that are mosquito-borne, and then the birds can't go to the habitat that's higher. So Hawaii is a real problem area for extinction. Any other questions? Thank you very much.